Hello, and welcome to The Puppet Master, Part 2. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Nice. And
Hooray.
John playing Zaw is with us today, but he is having camera issues, and so he is the happy, shiny face you see in the bottom corner of your screen.
So happy.
So happy. And we'll do our best to ruin that happiness on our dark and creepy adventure today. But knowing you three, you will ruin my dark and creepy adventure with your happiness.
Through the power of friendship.
Through the power of friendship. I choose heart or something. All right, so speaking of, last time we ended with you three staying for free at the inlet, which was a high-end kind of like scholarly inn. You noticed a lot of people that were there chatting about projects and such, and you kind of befriended one who wants to learn more about what you've been doing, Opal. So he offered to pay for your room and food and such. And so you had a very restful night, and maybe Zaw is feeling a little overstuffed. I felt like he was very excited to be able to order anything he could.
Oh yeah, yeah. He has to savor the delicious offerings of this region.
And they were quite delicious. There were a few plates that were a little bland. That lamb dish, whatever it was, they might as well have just boiled some salt water and threw some lamb chunks in it. It was weird, no flavor. But other than that, everything was pretty good.
A heart healthy option. I think that's what we got by accident.
We don't just need the gluten free and the low salt and low sodium and all that. We need the ones that just taste like cardboard. Those ones. All right. So the morning arrives. Everyone feels rested. What do you want to do?
I feel like we should be checking out maybe the old abandoned house and the field where everybody keeps disappearing. Or we could
Okay.
just go to the field where everybody's disappearing.
You know that at least some of those farms are up north, as is the house that you're going to. Opal, you've been to the house before because your friend used to live there when she got married, and you feel like it would be an easy jaunt to go to either first and then go to the other. So whichever you'd like to go to first, just let me know.
Okay, well, maybe it's a bathroom break if we need it. What do you guys think?
I'm in
Refresh
favor
our
of the
water
house.
bottles.
What was that, Gilbert?
I'm in favor of the house first.
Okay. Zod, do you have any feedback?
Claw is excited to get to the bottom of this. Probably demons.
It's a very valid hypothesis, is the
Mhm.
word. All right. So you all, bundle up your stuff. You notice that Zaw has several leftovers stuffed into his pack, but that like bowl of soup is barely touched and very cold in the corner. He didn't. He actually just set it down by the piss bucket. Does anyone need to do anything before you leave the inn?
See, did we want to get anything to prepare? Did we need to stop by and get any scrolls or weapons? I feel like I might be good, but we could get something in town if anyone needs anything.
I'm prepared for today, I think. It's really up to all of you whether or not you have some things to prepare.
Meh, let's just go.
Meh.
Meh.
Okay. So as you head out, the the town is definitely bustling. Everyone seems to have a place to go. That same kind of like downtrodden energy is everywhere. Like you notice those signs, those missing posters are up, and they just seem to like watch everybody as people go by them, and there's this almost oppressed feeling to the town because of all these missing people, and the missing son of the Watchlord is definitely on everybody's lips. You hear people talking about it and worrying so much that he is not going to return like so many other people haven't so far. And as you're heading out, you want to head out towards the Dawn Gate, I believe is what it's called. The one to the north. And so you're heading out, and you're going to have to go through this like large square. And in the square, you hadn't noticed them last night, so they must have arrived either late in the night or sometime early this morning. There's a large caravan of brightly colored wagons. It looks like some kind of maybe carnival has arrived or something, and it looks like those the drivers, the people who like are leading and taking care of the horses and everything. They're unhitching horses and like taking them off to be stalled elsewhere. But Opal, as you're like kind of pushing your way through this crowd, you notice this little old woman that like bumps into you, just the jostle of the crowd and the direction everyone's moving, and she stops and she turns around and she looks at you, and you notice she's missing most of her teeth, and you have this like flashback from the old woman that you met yesterday. But this lady is obviously not that same person, just also has bad dental hygiene. And
he's a dentist.
right, and she grabs your hand and tries to like turn it palm up. What do you do?
I let her do it.
Okay.
I think I let her do it, but I'm definitely on guard. So with my other hand, I'm kind of tapping my friends, like, "Hey, this is happening," but I'll
Okay.
let her lick my hand.
Okay. What's your toad's name? I forgot. So your frog.
Steve.
Steve. Steve lets out
Sergeant
like
Stephen.
Sergeant Stephen. Steve lets out like kind of an angry croak and glares down at her as he's sitting on your shoulder, but then just licks his eye. And she turns her palm over and is looking at it, and she traces. Her nail is long and kind of jagged, like it would, as though maybe she chews on the one side of it, but the other side has just like grown out. And she traces the lines on your hand. Then her eyes go wide, and she starts muttering something. You can't understand her. It's in a language you don't understand. And she quickly drops her hand and makes some kind of weird gesture. It's like she takes her fingers and like bends them like this and puts it over her eye and spits on the ground, and then not like at you, but like at her own feet, and then disappears off into the crowd.
That was weird. I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna, pat Steve on the head and, ask Steve how he felt about that. Like, do you think she was okay? Or do you think that was odd? Did she do something to me?
So Za, you've got like that really crazy passive perception, right?
Yeah.
Like 21 or something.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
He's very observant and stuff. Not as per the feet, I don't think, or maybe it is as per the feet. Yes, it is as per the feet.
Okay.
So he's a 21. Yeah.
Okay. So Opal's looking around and talking to Steve, and even Steve is kind of like raising himself up, as he's wont to do when searching for danger, to make sure that no armies are coming to do battle with him. But you notice that where this woman spit, Opal like steps in it, not really paying attention, and as she lifts up her foot, you notice there's something stuck to her shoe. It looks
Yeah.
like a piece of paper or a card or something.
Using my amazing telekinetic mind, I'm going to pluck that thing out from under her foot
Okay, so it comes
as her foot
like
is lifted.
there's like a slight squelching noise as the spit and the card separate. The spit continues to be stuck mostly to Opal's shoe, but this card flies up towards you. Or do you take the card?
Oh,
No,
It's
as
just
it may
hovering.
need to be, yeah, it may need to be further inspected. Um, could be a trap.
So what you see is currently hovering in front of you.
Are you not gonna take that?
Could be a trap.
Dross, are you standing on the other side of him? Or are you standing next to him so you would see the same side?
That is a wonderful question, and I don't know. I'd probably be standing next to my friends.
Okay.
If Opal is ahead of Zod, I'd probably be up near Opal.
Okay.
And the strangest has just happened.
Yeah, so you'd be on the other side then. Opal's busy looking around, and you notice this. It looks like a graveyard with mists filling it.
I
Seems bad.
oh man, there's a Zod. If you just, can I try to just turn the card in the air? Or am I gonna?
Sure.
To get cursed?
Zod, you resist his attempt to turn it. I feel like your telekinesis can do that. It could like keep it from turning.
Pretty sure that I've warned him already. So if he gets cursed, it's on him, not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, he turns it, and Dross, you can see this side now. It just looks like some kind of decorative backing to the card. And then as he turns it, Za, you can see this art on the other side that looks like a graveyard full of fog.
Definitely demons. Was she speaking infernal or abyssal?
She was not.
At
They're
the
changing
very
strategy.
least.
She was just speaking old lady.
Dross, what
Maybe
did you say?
possessed old lady.
Dross, were you saying something?
Oh, a bad omen at the very least. Maybe not demons, but this is a very poor omen, I would imagine.
To help, why on earth would someone want to give us a bad omen? That seems crazy.
People do crazy things when times are hard and tragedy is abundant.
I want to look around and see if there's somebody that looks like they know what they're doing and be like, hey, do you see this? What is this? We're new to the town.
My
Oh, okay.
adult life.
What the hell is this?
A lot of the people going through the square seem like they're going somewhere else, like they don't work in that area. What kind of person are you looking for? Like,
I'm looking for wizard type, someone we may have seen at the bar, possibly. Someone that might be scholarly, and may know of such things.
so over there, you do notice a fellow that has, it looks like a broom shop, but you notice that like many of the brooms are sweeping the area around by themselves. So obviously, like they're enchanted brooms. He seems to know what he's doing at least. He's also wearing robes like a wizard would,
From the robe Costco, yes.
right? No, because he's not a cultist. So
No, not a cultist. It's a different section.
right.
The wizard section, not the cultist section. All right, I'm gonna kind of stroll over, and sort of leave everybody by the cards, and ask him. I'd like to ask him to check this out. Be like, this old lady came up to me. I didn't really know what she was saying, and then she spit on the ground, and now there's a floating card. What does this mean? I've never seen this before.
Oh, he takes out like some little spectacles and puts them on. He's like, "Sorry, I'm farsighted or nearsighted or one of those two. I can't see things in front of my face. And he takes the card and looks at it and sniffs it some. It smells like the street or something. It smells familiar to me. Dirt, maybe some spit or something. I don't understand the meaning of this side with the graveyard, but the decorations remind me of some kind of fortune-telling deck.
Well,
Hmm.
can I surmise anything from the card at all?
Why don't you do either a history or an arcana check?
Let me bring up my things.
Sweet.
Wait a moment. Let's do history.
While she's doing that, Dross and
Did
Zaw,
that
what are
even
you
show?
doing?
Being supportive through
Okay.
the art of music.
Ah,
Subtly playing.
Yeah. Are you playing nearby, or are you kind of like wandering the crowd?
I'll be trying to stick nearby, but close enough within earshot. But
Okay.
also trying to raise the spirits of these people in the town that seem so downtrodden.
Yeah. You actually do a performance check, and while he's doing that, Zaw, what are you doing?
Keeping an eye out for the telltale signs of fiendish behavior, fiendish activity.
Sure.
Watching patrons as they move about, and keeping kind of a pseudo close watch on the colorful wagons, and the persons who might be around them.
Okay.
Just kind of slowly and methodically looking out for that old lady.
Okay. So Dross and Zaw, as you two are kind of hanging out and Dross is playing some lighthearted music, you do notice that the people around you do seem to like pick up their step. They're stepping like a little bit in time with your music, and the people who are over taking care of those wagons kind of glance over at you, and you see them nodding in time with your music, and then they begin like unloading things in a much more energetic manner. Perhaps they traveled long through the night, and that's why they arrived so early. They obviously were very tired, but now with your music, they just feel a little energized. And Opal, you're looking at this card, and you're trying to like surmise what it means. There's a vast variety of meanings that a graveyard could have for you. You're just kind of like glancing at it. It seems ominous instead of just like a gravestone. There's several gravestones and this like weird like wrought iron fence that's in front of it. But everything's kind of like obscured by this mist. So it's a little unsettling. But you can't seem to discern what its meaning would be.
okay. Well, I'm going to take the card
Okay.
and stick it in my pocket.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe the meaning will come out for us on our journey somehow.
Excellent. All right. So what do you all do? Are you going to hang out here, or are you going to head out of town northward?
Is there a scroll shop nearby?
You do know of some, yeah.
Um, I'm going to ponder that for a minute.
Okay.
I think I'm good. I'm good to head out of town.
Dross, what are you thinking?
Ready when all of you are.
Okay. Zaw.
I'm satisfied that there are probably no demons here. We should keep looking.
Okay. So everyone regroups. Dross, even though like you're leaving as you're kind of playing that music as you walk off, you notice that lingering upbeat feeling remains in the crowd as you leave. those people will probably have a much better day humming this tune that you were playing.
Right.
And you all head out the north gate of the city. Pretty much right away, you notice there are groves of trees that grow up here. A lot of them are flowering. It is that time of spring where a lot of these fruit trees are coming into their blossoms and their blooms. For those who enjoy that kind of scent, it's very wonderful. And for those of you who are allergic to pollen and such in the air, your nose begins running and you begin sneezing. It's a very beautiful sight, but oh so uncomfortable. Off to the right, as you're walking out of the gate, you can see a large caravan parking area that seems like several wagons laden with goods either coming or going stop here. Opal, you know that that's like it's an area where a lot of traders will camp for the night. So it's not like out of place that all of these are over there. This area just seems pretty upbeat. It's such a nice spring morning. And as you head further north, you see these fields stretching off into the distance that just barely things are starting to grow out of. It's a little too early to see much poking its way out of the earth. And you're going to head for the house. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we're heading for the house.
Okay. So Opal knows the way, and she leads you down this path, and a fork in the road leads you off down this smaller road. For a while, it seems like it's pretty well traveled, and you see other farmhouses and just some residences out there. Some of them are being rebuilt. It seems like perhaps that fiendish incursion that happened recently, some of these houses were destroyed during that. But over time, you start noticing, and it's pretty obvious as you continue walking, like the green of the grass and the bushes and the trees. As you're going, it's less about growing groves, as like the trees that are growing are just kind of natural. They begin taking on kind of like a subdued tone, almost like a grayed out version of the greens that they were, and some of the trees kind of don't look like their leaves are budding yet. Like there's none of those little things, I can't think of what they're called, but right before a tree will leave, it has those little things that come out. And none of those are even out yet. Either there's some kind of disease on these trees or something like that, but it's weird that even the grasses are kind of grayed out.
I'm gonna notice that this looks weird,
Mhm.
and think that maybe we should sit for a minute and play a song to help the plants, because I've heard that music and talking to the plants will help them. So I ask everybody if they're okay with a rest for a minute and a song.
Always happy to play a song.
And while he starts playing, I'm going to fashion a drawing of a cat and kind of Mod Podge this onto a rock nearby.
Gotcha. So Joss, what song are you playing to the plants around you? What do you feel like would inspire their potential spirits?
Well, being a veteran of the Gnomish Wars, I consider myself quite well traveled. Met some very interesting people. Once met a druid who attempted to persuade me to go down that path of druidic knowledge and nature and all that. Wasn't exactly for me, but it had a beautiful message. So through her teachings, I have written a bit of a tune regarding it. Kind of conveys the beauty of nature and its teachings.
Sure. Why don't you make a performance check? And since you wrote this one, I'm actually going to give you advantage on this.
Raj.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, so Opal and Za, you've heard him working on this song every so often. It's kind of like a work in progress, as he really delves into what do plants need to hear from us as different life forms. I'm not going to say higher life forms because then one of my plants downstairs is going to gank me in the middle of the night. But it really, like, Opal, you find like this tear in your eye, even though it's not from like sadness, like this kind of joy wells up in you, and this tear kind of comes down. And even Za, you're like, I mean, so are you from the far realm?
Um, I'm from the astral.
Astral,
Uh,
right?
yeah, but was stationed in the Underdark before I joined forces in the Gnomish Wars.
So this idea of like communicating with plant creatures seems a little alien to you because one, there isn't grass in the astral or in the Underdark, and most of the plants in the Underdark either give you hallucinations, poison you, or come to life and kill you. So it's a weird moment, but it's a very beautiful song.
Aw.
You don't really see anything, but your spirits feel lifted from the experience, and you're hoping that that kind of spreads off to these plants around you. Is there anything, Opal, that you wanted to do with the cat?
Well, I'm gonna hug a couple of trees and then I'm gonna sit down and commune a little bit with my higher power, um, and point out that I had made the cat before I called them, and uh, ask to bring this area back to life.
Okay.
The trees, make them happy and grow.
Okay. So while Dross is playing this, Opal sits down and communes for a while, and Zaw's kind of watching a little, not uncomfortably necessarily, but like, what is going on? All right. Anything else before you head back off?
Mm, I think that's it.
We're good.
Okay. Za, are you all good?
Yeah, I mean, I was considering running some tests, but we're going to see how widespread this problem is first.
Gotcha. Do you want to take any samples while they're doing those things?
Well, I mean, I need living samples if I'm going to be doing any proper vivimancy. And so this patch of grass, I guess, will do. And I'm just going to go through, the series of magical effects on the grass. Does it still like burn normally? Is it affected by poison spray? So it's my roundup work. Does it repel anything? Does it cast spells back? Because vegetation is, by its very nature, dangerous.
Unless it's on your plate, it's dangerous. You have noticed that fire and poison and all those things do work. Like you cast poison spray and everything kind of yellows a little bit. And is that right? You have poison spray, or
Yep.
did I just assume that? Okay. And what's your fire spell, or are you just like trying trying some like oil on grass?
Let's see here. Oh, I don't have a low level fire spell. That's a bummer. Poison spray should be a pretty good feel on that one.
Yeah, it's like a much faster version of. Sorry, I can't think of what it's called. Like the stuff you spray on weeds.
Yeah, like Roundup.
Roundup. Thank you. Yeah, it's like advanced time, like sped up Roundup. Everything is just like definitely seems to work.
Vivimancy is going to be the newest, hottest thing. I'm guaranteeing you. This is going to be a new school. I'm going to be headmaster of Vivimancy. Just mark my words. I'll give you credit, though. I mean, you're a good teacher, but
You might want to mark
Vivimancy.
this day down on your calendar because it might be the day that you like look back and you're like, do you remember back when Zaw invented the school of Vivimancy? Yes, yes, I do.
I'm gonna get out a piece of parchment and write that down.
You should have him
And then
sign
they'll
it just in
give it a
case. Might be
great
worth
big
money.
Sign this, please. Okay.
Right. All right. So you head out. You head towards the house some more, and there is a couple more like turns that you have to take. And you notice that this like bright, sunny, warm morning just starts to cool off, and the light dims. Looks like there's some low clouds or something that's blocking the sun as you get further along. And that it continues. So you're watching it. It does seem to get worse as you go along. So like most of the grass just seems gray and potentially dead. It's very brittle when you touch it, almost ashy. Um, the trees just seem like lifeless husks. Like if you go up and investigate them, as some of the insides, if you ever seen like termite rot, whatever that's called, like how they go in and they eat, but they don't eat everything, and so there's just that like really fragile wood inside. It's a lot like that. Potentially there's some kind of like pest infestation or something going on.
Does this seem to be like a natural blight, or does this seem to be of like magical influence?
Go ahead and do I'm gonna have Opal do a nature check and Zaw do an arcana check.
So, Arcana.
Arcana.
Ooh.
So as you're looking around, it's very similar to what a blight would do. So could very well be. You're not seeing anything that points towards a specific magic spell or effect. However, you don't feel like you're at the epicenter of it either. So perhaps there is something up ahead.
I'm gonna reach down and pick up some of the grass and just stick it in my pouch and scribble some notes in my notebook.
Okay.
Just kind of a quick sketch and try. And do I notice any plants that I really recognize what they should look like? Or
Mostly it's the grasses at this point or the trees. A lot of the pine trees have lost their needles or they're just like a gray, almost blackened needle that's kind of drooping off of them. When you go to pick up the grass, like it kind of crumbles in your hand. So if you want some, you kind of have to like, you can use a dagger or if you have like a little shovel or something and kind of like dig it up by its roots and then very carefully place it into your bag.
I'm gonna set Steve down and let him look around a little bit. Let him hop around, get the vibe.
Steve like sits down, looks around, and then he does the up thing. Up. Up.
He's extra grumpy because he's put on the ground.
Right.
I love Steve so much.
Who knows? Steve might become the hero of the show, saving you all. We will have to see.
He already is a hero.
Yeah, of this show though, like of the Gnomish Civil War, that is obvious. Like everyone, there's probably a statue to Steve somewhere
His grandeur.
recognizing his grandeur and his efforts in the Gnomish War.
3 purple hearts, man.
Yeah. Great.
Do you continue on?
Yeah, I want to see this epicenter.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So as you continue on, you don't feel like it should have taken this long, but it's starting to get dark, and maybe it's like you're looking around for the sun to verify. Maybe it's just these clouds that are overhead, but it's so thick and gray over you, and even like, like when low clouds come in and there's that like wet haze that hangs over the ground. There's you kind of walking through it. It's almost mist like. and just like builds up condensation on your skin. And if any of you are wearing hats, they begin dripping. If you're not, then like just your hair begins like dripping with condensation. Feels a little slimy.
Hmm.
And up ahead through the mist, you can see the house that you're heading to.
Right. Well, I mean, we've been in the war all together, and we know how to work as a team. So we're going to continue on to this house
Okay.
in these whiteout conditions. But
Dross,
we're
do
going
you
to
have
be
any? Oh, what was that?
but we'll be extra careful. You know, Ross is looking one direction. I'm checking out. Steve's checking things out.
Uh, I will have ceased playing in case we need some stealth. Um, I'll just keep an eye behind us as I am not built for combat. I was playing the flute in the Gnome Civil War.
But your side won, so obviously it was an
So
important thing to raise the spirits of those soldiers.
morale,
Yeah.
always.
Yes.
And Za, what are you doing as you're heading up that direction?
Thought does recon, but this doesn't seem to be a situation where we need it at the moment. Um, so he's going to fall in line and take the 6.
Okay. So as you get closer, Opal, you remember this house. It's kind of like a small mansion. It's a very large house. You remember it being just so brightly colored, like it was like this kind of sunflower yellow, and it had these amazing gabled roofs that were like a dark red. It didn't clash, and like it wasn't like some crazy clown outfit or anything like that. But it was just like very happy looking. But the paint has just faded to gray, and there's like shingles falling off of the roof. The windows are broken out. They're not even like boarded up. There's like a front porch area, like an enclosed porch area, that you can see boards sticking up as though they've been smashed.
Hmm.
What do you do?
Well, I remember this place very differently, and it's a sad state right now. But I feel like we should figure out what happened here because it's obvious that this is does it look like the center of everything? Like it would I think it was the center of everything?
It is definitely by far the worst that you've seen so far. The only way that you'd really be able to tell would be to walk past it and go the other way to really
Mhm.
determine if it's like the center. But it is definitely the worst by far so far.
Okay. So I think we should go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opal, just make
For
me
the
a straight intelligence roll.
Uh,
Nice. As you get closer, there's this sense that like it just doesn't make sense to you that this should have happened over the course of 3 years. Like the damage, sure, if somebody came up and was like smashing things, that makes sense. But like, why this yellow paint that was like so joyful and everything just like seems leached of color? It's as you are like up next to the building, you can see there's a little faint resemblance of yellow, but it's mostly gray. Um, like that's not natural. It shouldn't have faded that quickly.
to take out my pen and draw my patron on the wall directly and commune with my patron to help this house
Nice.
and guide us to what needs to be done.
All I can think of is like Cat Thulu, where it's like the cat, but then it has like the tentacles. Sorry.
Very
Uh,
sassy patron.
so yeah, you've seen Opal do this before, where essentially she's trying to like bless the house with the power of her patron. Dross, what are you doing?
Standing by. Not one for gods, so I'll just kind of keep watch, I suppose.
Okay. And Za.
Um. Hmm. I am going to get a closer look. I'm going to take the form of a cat. Um, and cat my way over, get a better look around the perimeter.
Just to verify, can everyone see the new map of the house?
I see a black. Oh, nope, it's loading. There we
Aha,
go.
yes.
Okay. So you're all set to the vision that you would have if you have light or dark vision. If you're not going to use some kind of light, let me know so we can turn down your vision.
Well, I have dark vision, I believe.
I don't believe you do. You're a gnome, correct? I'm just going to double check.
Right.
Meanwhile, while we're doing this, I'm just double checking this. You do have dark vision. My bad. So you should be set for that. I think Za is the only one who does not have dark vision.
Yeah, you don't need dark vision in the astral.
Right? It's just gray. Everything is gray. All right. So, Za, show me where you're gonna head to as a cat. And outside is kind of a dim. It's not like super. It's not nighttime out. So even though you're a cat, you don't right now need light outside to see in the distance that you have set for your token.
Is there like a ledge here where the window is?
So there are no. Oh, for cat? Sure. Cats are crazy. Which window are you going to?
This one.
Sure. Yeah, you jump up there on that little ledge. And within you can see like there's shards of broken glass, like of the pane, and you can see like the pieces that were broken out are laying on the inside. Looks like there is a chair and a small writing desk. Otherwise, that room is empty.
I'll look back over my shoulder, strike a cat pose. Mostly just showing off the amazing powers of Vivimancy, and await hand signal orders.
Okay.
I send Steve over to him as a cat. Well, I mean, Steve is going to hang out. And just so you know, level 20, my screen is blank. Um, what can I see with my vision?
I am not sure why your screen is blank. That is odd. Is it blank black or blank white?
Blank black.
Okay. Let me just verify that you have. Alright, so you should be able to see. Interesting. Can you see your token at all, or is it just.
Yeah, I can see
Black.
all our tokens. Just blackness.
Yeah. Okay, we will go Theater of the Mind. So ahead of you, you see this house. There is like a stairway that goes up to this small covered area that the front door is attached to. There are several windows in the front of the house, both on the first and second floors. Up above, you can see the like kind of gabled areas, and you know that there is a domed area that is essentially like their attic space that they converted into a living area that's kind of further back. You would have noticed that as you were heading in, but it was very obscured by the clouds.
Okay. do I know where would the toy maker's like workspace be in this house?
So most of the time, he actually made those toys up in that domed area.
You should go up.
Okay. You do know from being here before, Opal, there is also a back door that leads, I believe, into the kitchen area. There's a large porch off the back of the house as well.
Okay. Can we discern any kind of like evil feelings or anything beyond just the
Yeah, good question. You feel, especially you, because you've been here and because you know what it used to look like, it's definitely creepy. Feels a little unnatural to you because of that fact that something has essentially leached the life out of the place. Um, and I will say that the clouds are kind of creeping you out just because it didn't take you that long to get here. It shouldn't be night. Those are some really hefty clouds that are so like you feel like there should be a storm and yet it's not raining, it's not thundering. It's more just this like opaqueness that's surrounding you.
mm, okay. Well, I'd like to ask everybody what they want to do.
Onward.
Onward, Za.
Enough word. Okay.
What would you like to do, Za?
Um, uh, I'll groom myself a little bit, staying in form, um, and will kind of dart between their legs as they move, just
Okay.
because cats.
So you're gonna also follow them in. Opal,
Are they going to
you're,
the front door?
that was my question. Opal, you're leading the charge here. What door are
Yeah.
you gonna go in?
We're gonna go upstairs, whatever door that is.
Okay, so you know you could go in the front door, and it leads into there's like a large foyer, I guess, or kind of
Yeah,
like welcoming chamber that has stairs that go upstairs. Yeah.
yeah, we'll just go in the front door.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Through the window.
Opal just like moves or like opens the door and heads in. If you would like to go through that window that was broken, that is completely up to you.
Yeah, yeah. It's again, behold the marvels of vivimancy.
So Opal, you open the door and it creaks very loudly, like the hinges like pop with rust, like they do that, and like little grains of dust fall down. Um, and inside is a mud room, like the area where you would go in and take your jacket off if you were wearing something from the rain, and you'd take off your boots so that you weren't tracking mud all over the house. And it is very dusty in here. There are remnants of shoes and boots like lining the floor, but like their leathers have dried and there's cracks in them as though they've been here for years, as opposed to, I mean, 3 years is the last time you were here. But again, more damage to them than should have been. Excuse me.
Can I detect anything in the shadows beyond anything magical or anything evil?
You don't see anything in your dark vision and Dross's dark vision. You don't see anything in the shadows or anything. There's two closed doors at the end, the French style doors. At the end of this small, it's 10 by 15. This mud room.
Well, I'm just gonna keep going in.
Okay. Dross, anything before she opens the door?
No. I think. Yeah, no, I'm terrified, but that's about it.
Okay. Meanwhile, Za, You drop down into this room, avoiding the glass with your cat-like reflexes, and you hop down onto the ledge on the other side, and then onto the chair, which spins slightly, which is kind of entertaining to you. There's a door on the far side. Otherwise, there's the chair and the small writing desk. What would you like to do?
Anything on the desk?
It looks like there is the remnants of paper, like almost like there was a stack of writing paper there that has decayed over the years.
Push it off the table.
As you should.
Yeah. Is the door open or closed?
It is closed.
Oh, damn it. Door is my only natural enemy.
The bane of cats everywhere.
Damn it. Well, then I'm going to have to... I'll hop back out and slink in behind them.
Okay. All right. So, Opal, you go to open this door, and the handle seems almost like it's locked, but as you kind of push it, you just hear like the grinding, almost like there's rust in the actual handle itself, you know, and it just kind of grinds, and you pop that door open. Inside is a hallway. It's only 5 feet wide that goes off on either side. You know that those lead to other rooms, but directly in front of you is an opening from that hallway that leads into a large receiving room, essentially like a large foyer. There's a large staircase that heads up that's directly in front of you. Otherwise, there is a closed door off to your right and an open doorway that you remember when you were here for the funeral. Like, a lot of it took place in this room and that room over there, which is a dining hall. A lot of people like went in and like had their little hors d'oeuvres and talked about your friend's life and reminisced. So other than that, you're not 100% sure what is beyond this, but there's that staircase that goes up.
I'm going to draw again another cat on the wall and
Okay.
motion for Steven to come over and get out my darts and kind of roll them on his back, his gooey little back, just tuck them away in my pouch.
Okay.
And I'm going to commune with my patron again, asking to help guide us in this house to keep it from evil.
Okay. So Opal heads on into this larger room, begins to draw a cat on the wall, and is muttering quietly. Again, you're all used to this, not anything weird. The graffiti police show up, arrest you all, throw you away forever. Just kidding. Dross, what are you doing?
Sticking very, very close.
Okay. So you're following. You can move your token, correct, Ross?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm just going to put Opal here. Go ahead and put yourself wherever you think you're going to head. And Za, what are you doing?
I will slink in behind.
Okay. And you both see this hallway that extends off both directions.
Can't go. I think the travel beyond the walls is on.
Oh, good call. Thank you for the reminder. Dynamic lighting. Let's move this door for you. Does that help?
Yes. Very much so.
Sorry, because I was moving her character. I didn't realize that.
I reloaded and it showed up.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you all head into that main room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that you do notice is above you, the ceiling is open. Essentially, you can see that this staircase heads up and divides and then heads up higher, and you can see that there is a I can't think of the word right now. Essentially, on the second floor, there is a pathway that goes around this room that you're in that can look down on it.
Okay.
Me?
What do you do?
This feels eerie. That being said, we could cover much more ground if we divide and conquer. Are we in favor of that? I don't want to be that person, but
Zaw, you do
This
notice.
feels-
Sorry,
What's there?
go ahead.
this feels terrifying, and I'd much rather not be here for hours and hours. And again, I feel we could cover much more ground dividing and conquering. But again, I realize that plays out very poorly in most cases. What say all of you?
We could build a bonfire to
In
light
the
things.
in the house,
And
we'll make it cheery in here. Damn it! Get the s'mores.
we could build a bonfire to help illuminate areas to feel safe, and then kind of stroll around together still. I don't know if I want to divide up.
Yeah, no. Thinking about it, the more I think about it, and walking around alone in this house, the more against that course of action I am. Do we think that this might be a trap at all? Are we?
How do you think it would be a trap?
Children have been going missing. I feel like anyone who investigates might be targeted,
You definitely have heard that
weighted.
a lot of the people who went to investigate either disappeared or were found dead.
Mhm. But we have the children weren't found dead. It was the adults that were looking for the children, right?
Correct. You have not found, or any of the children have not been found at all.
I have a really dumb idea. All right, so what say we hole up in a room, pair our defenses, barricade things if need be. To the left, looks like a dining room. I can barely see a table.
Yeah.
What say we barricade the entranceway with that table, hole up in that room, so that anything that comes near us has to vault over an overturned table. Prepare our defenses, sort of fortify our position, essentially. And then I will play a long, loud note on the flute, and whatever comes running down, we can sort of the hot gates them, and just focus our attention fully on the front. Would that be smart?
Yeah, like the Za and Opal, you've both seen this concept work during the Gnomish Civil War. Like, it was a smaller battle that was, dealing with some who had held who were trying to use caves as their headquarters, and you had all snuck in and found an offshoot cave, and it definitely worked. You were able to minimize your losses during that battle.
Yeah, I'm open to that 100%. Though it's not a far leap that this is the toy maker's house and children went missing. So could there be a possibility of children in this house as captives, maybe?
It's definitely a theory. I will point out that your characters have noticed that that front door, both of the front doors were rusted, very squeaky. You didn't see any signs of travel through here, so potentially it is possible. You haven't really investigated the house to really determine yet, or what the validity of that statement would be.
Well, I definitely want to check out the dining area to see how many entrances and exits there are to be fortified. And I'm absolutely taking Stephen with me.
Okay. And Za, as far as your vision goes, everything that is inside is essentially in dim light because of the windows. Like there's that like super gray light that just kind of filters in through the mist outside. Um, if there's a room you cannot see in, I will let you know.
Okay.
All right. So what you're thinking? Is that what your plan is? Is to go hole up in the dining room and try and
Let's see
trigger
the all
somebody?
Yeah, I want to see all of the dining room to see if it's like possible
Sure.
to hold up in there.
Now that you can see the map, can you also move your token?
Yeah.
Let's just verify that you.
Boop.
Awesome.
There we go.
All right. So as you all head into that room, um, it looks like there are set like place settings put out, but they're covered in dust. Um, the wax candles have like aged so badly that they're kind of like crumbling. Um, Looks like that fireplace it just has ash in it. It hasn't been lit in a long time. You don't see anything hiding in the shadows or anything like that.
Hmm. Uh, I would like
And
to stick a chair in the fireplace
okay,
and start a fire.
gotcha. And to the north and south there are double doors. So while Opal like sets his chair in there, kind of like breaks the chair apart and lights a fire, what
Huh?
is Dross doing?
Uh, Trying to be very silent. Um, Probably failing to do so. I You said the north and south. They have those are double doors.
Yeah, so there's a double door here, and there's a double door in the middle of this south wall here.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, three entrances will definitely make this difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. Probably just I'll assist in the breaking of the table and whatnot.
Okay, so like you want to grab another chair and break it and throw it on the fire?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, like a fairly cheery fire begins as the two of you are working on breaking up those chairs and feeding them to the fire. Zah, what are you doing?
Um, Going to move about the perimeter.
Okay.
Um, just keeping an eye out for tripwires or uh, dire mouse holes or demon droppings.
Yeah, totally. As you're like sniffing around and looking, and your tail's brushing up against everything, there's like light filtering in here and here, and then after they light the fire, this like radius of warmer light kind of fills everything. You do notice there are some mouse holes, and they like smell of mouse. There are some droppings. The droppings are pretty dried out, so probably not fresh, but not they haven't turned to dust yet either, so not that old.
So visitors within probably the past week.
At least vermin visitors, probably within the last month or so.
With the normal size rat droppings, right?
Correct.
And none of them are glowing.
Nope, no glowing ones.
Right. Yeah, I'll just maintain perimeter um, while the fire started and find opportune spots for perching or for hiding.
Yeah, I mean, on the table, there's a lot of items to knock off. Those little side, like, cabinets also have some, like, there's one over here that has, like, a silver platter on it that could be knocked off quite easily. Some candlesticks up on another one, just in case you need to do your cat thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do need to to further explore the joys of knocking things off the table, but we are trying to be quiet, so I will refrain.
Okay. So between Opal and Dross, you try to like, crack these chairs a little bit to like make them fit in the fireplace, and you get a small fire going. You make some noise, but it's not like resounding through the house. What do you do afterwards?
I would like to try and get some of the chair legs um, separate from the chairs. Like the chairs can go to the fire, but some of the legs I'd like to turn into uh, kind of like spears. Um, just with my little whittling, just whittle it a little bit.
Yeah. Um, so because
And
they're kind of like curved a little bit, like you could hold like not like the throne type spears, but like
mm,
kind of stabby spears. You could totally like sit there and whittle down the edges, sure, or the end, sure.
yeah, and I, for whatever reason, can't move the frog into the room.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
but
I
but
know
Steven should be
why.
there
Yeah,
on the
I've just been
table.
assuming that he is with you. Bloop.
Bloop. All
All
right.
right. So
Uh,
after the fire and the spear making, what do you all do?
I mean, honestly, I kind of want to go up the stairs.
Okay. Or do you? So like Dross's thing was to like try and draw out anyone. Do you still want to do
Yeah.
that or?
Well, it did work. I still have a deep need to go up the stairs, but I'm going to refrain right now.
Okay.
Um,
So Opal keeps like
and
glancing out at the staircase. You definitely get the intent,
Longingly.
right? You feel that she definitely wants to go up, um, but the group has so far decided to do this. What's the plan?
mm, I'm going to try and move one of the pieces of furniture, one of the bookcases, in front of the doors on either side.
Sure. Yeah, with help, um, probably. Dross, you're a tiefling, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I was like, "What are you?" The two of you can kind of like manhandle it. They're a little heavy, and essentially they're like tall hutches, or there's a couple of like smaller serving tables, but you can move the hutches in front of the doors absolutely. So that
So,
north door and south door are now blockaded on your side.
Okay. And then I suppose we should probably move the table to the main door
correct.
um, and put it on its side.
Okay, Za, how long can you remain a cat?
Believe it's half my druid level, so 2 hours.
Okay, Za, while they're doing this, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, if they need help getting stuff off the table,
I will definitely need help moving the table as well. I have a -2 strength
Yeah,
modifier.
the table's going to be harder to move because it is quite large. Opal is literally too small to be that much help. And Dross, like when he flexes and the droop happens, so Zom might be needed to help move the table.
Zaw looks at the two, looks at the table, and shifts form into a bear.
Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Table.
What kind of bear? Brown bear?
Um, whatever's half CR, I think is my limit. So I think a brown bear, black or brown bear, I think is my limit.
Well, I think it's about time for a jovial tune.
Once we have barricaded the door, I will prepare prepare to play a controversial and rage-inducing. Yeah, something that will draw people out. Something that will.
Gotcha. Why don't you set yourselves up where you're gonna be,
Gotcha.
and we'll assume that table is now filling that space where Dross was, so like right here. It doesn't like cover the doorway completely. It does allow you to see over it as it's like tilted on side, but it would stop somebody from just like walking in, and they'd have to climb over it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Where would you like Steven to be?
Steven.
Actually, can you move Steven? I think you can.
Let me see.
If not, let me know.
Steven's gonna be kind of a warning because he's so little. So he's gonna be
Nice.
right there on the side and see if he can't get actually more. Yeah, there we go. More vision,
Okay.
more of visual of the other room.
So he's kind of sitting up on the table that's like covering the door, but off to the side so he's not obvious. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then Dross begins playing this kind of screechy. You know it's music. You can't think of where you've heard this before, but the screechy, annoying tune begins to fill the halls of the house. And as he finishes up, everybody kind of listens to see if anyone's like running down or shouting or anything like that. Go ahead and make me perception checks.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Are there any smell-related um, uh, things to this perception?
There are not, but you would have gotten an 18 anyway. So you do hear some scritching in the walls, and very faintly these like little cries of pain
Hmm.
and horror. Um, you're pretty sure, like since you've been around them before and can turn into them, you're pretty sure they're rats, and they're like your bare ears hurt from the noises coming out of Dross's flute. So they're probably like, "Oh my god, make it stop!"
I will make a mental note about that, as this is good data.
Okay, but otherwise you don't hear anything.
Hmm.
And Steven doesn't like give you the sign that someone's coming.
Can Stephen perceive, like, can Stephen hear, like, have the music be painful to him as well?
Yeah, he's probably not super happy about it. They've got those like those membranes, and they're just vibrating in the most uncomfortable way, and he's just like he's just like licking his eye, trying to like reach his tongue all the way back to cover his ear with his tongue, and his little webbed feet are like, make it stop.
My apologies, Sergeant. It's for the greater good.
Scoop
I
up.
feel like he's gonna do a slow blink at you.
Right.
I'll scoop up Sergeant Steve and bear paw is over his head so he doesn't have to hear it.
So
Just
wholesome.
smoosh him against your fur to dampen the
Yeah.
sound. Okay,
Yeah.
so several moments go by, and no one comes running in. There doesn't seem to be any reaction other than the sound of rats in the walls.
Uh, um, do we feel that the rats are just rats? Um, is there any kind of, what can we do? Like, are they
Zog,
magic?
yeah, Zog, go ahead and make me a nature check, since you're the one who could hear them.
Nature.
Nature, French for nature.
Hooray.
Yeah, you're pretty sure they are normal rats. There seem to be quite a few of them, but other than that, you're pretty comfortable with the fact that they're just rats.
Okay.
Rats.
Do we still have some food? What if we put a little bit of food in the middle of the floor and see if we can't get the rats to come out?
Yeah, you would have like the rations that you carry on you anyway when you're going on your travels, but also there were like the leftovers from last night that Za had, and so it kind of depends on what you want to put down.
If I have any like the stinkiest cheese, if I've got stinky cheese or something,
Sure.
I'm gonna stick it in the middle of the floor and then sit back and watch.
Does Opal like stinky cheese?
Opal does like stinky cheese.
Okay. Yeah, then you would absolutely have like snagged some stinky cheese from the uh the leftovers last night. You probably
It does.
ordered some to be leftovers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean when you go to the all you can eat bar and you're just like, "Oh, I can I get a doggy bag after I got this extra plate?" Okay. So you put it where do you put it?
In the middle. I don't know how to make it like blink in the
Just
middle.
hold down, like left click and hold down.
Yep, just right in the middle, in between all of us.
Okay. Yeah, so you like put out some stinky cheese. Zaw, you can definitely smell it. Just you can almost see like scent waves coming off as this odor permeates the house now that she's taking it out of the wrapping. You think it's some kind of brie or something, and yet it has like this weird red mold on the outside that you've never seen before. So that's probably why it's extra odoriferous.
Just instinctually, the long tendrils of drool will begin to form along the sides of his maw.
Right? Yeah, he's just got like huge bootlaces of drool beginning to form. What is Dross doing?
Well, nothing came out of this plan so far. Should I scream an infernal? Lure out anything that might.
Hmm.
We've already alerted them we're here, and if they're smart enough, they've not come to investigate. But that might signal to them maybe a friend if they are in fact demons.
And you could
But
do that. I'd be okay with it. We could also, I mean, like Pied Piper style, try and lure the animals out.
very true. You know what? That makes a lot more sense. I I do have animal friendship, so if we can lure one of the rats, we could possibly gain some more insight into what might be here. I will need to borrow some of your cheese, though.
So you're gonna hang out until one of those rats appears?
Yeah, I'm gonna. If Opal will let me borrow some of the cheese, just set it in the middle of the floor and just stay very, very still.
So Opal's set some of that cheese out already, which is where all the smell is coming from. So yeah, if you all just kind of like want to wait and see, several minutes go by and everyone's just trying to be quiet and wait. And um, a bear doesn't have perception advantage based on sound, correct?
Not sound, smell.
Okay. You do smell kind of like the unwashed bodies of vermin as they move through the wall nearby you, and then over where you had seen some of the holes as a cat, you see some little rodent faces peer out, and you see their whiskers moving, and then they disappear as they go back in, and you hear them scurry further on.
Hmm. I'm gonna divide my attention between paying attention to them and paying attention to that cheese.
Okay. So you notice after a while that the scritching is moved across the room from you, Za, And in fact, Opal, it's so loud, like it sounds like there are several rats in the wall behind you, and a few poke their little furry noses out from a hole that's in the baseboard there, and it looks like they kind of scent the air and then slowly begin to creep out and head over to that cheese.
Cute. I'm gonna just openly talk to them. Like, hey guys, have some cheese. We're just here trying to check this place out. Have you seen anything weird? Do you know of any evil? Where it might be?
So, do you have the ability to speak with animals as
I
either your
don't
class or your gnome? I don't think gnomes get it, but I could be wrong.
do.
No,
I'm just
no,
gonna
no.
like talk though in general. Kind of like a crazy lady.
Forest gnomes could speak with beasts.
She is a rock gnome. So you're very good at tinkering, but not so much with the talking to
Yeah.
animals. However, so you begin speaking, and the rats like look up and dart away and go back into the hole. But as you continue speaking with them, they just like hang out for a while, and then slowly creep out and look at you, and then scurry over to the cheese and grab pieces, and then scurry back over to the hole.
The moment I see rats go for cheese, I'd like to friendship.
Okay. So one of
This
them,
is-
do they get a save or anything?
Yes, if it must see and hear you, the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. Spell save DC is 14.
It is gonna fail. So like one of them, like just this very faint aura kind of illuminates it, and it looks up at you. And if a rat could smile, it kind of smiles at you, and its eyes get a little bigger, and it's like, oh, hi.
And for total flavor, like Opal said, I'll just be playing the flute, something that will sound a bit more appealing to a rat's ears, Pied Piper style, and then just tentatively take it away from my lips. I don't know if it can understand me or not, but and I can't understand it for sure,
Right.
for absolute certain, because I forgot exactly what animal friendship does, but now I have a rat friend. I'm gonna see if I can glean something from its little mouse face.
Let me just double check. I don't believe you can speak with it, but it convinces it that you are like a friend that charms it. Yeah, you charm it, and essentially it believes you're not going to do it harm.
Yeah. I don't
If
know.
you or one of your companions harms it, the spell ends. So, like, it definitely is kind of like taps its little hind foot in rhythm with your music and like munches on some cheese, but otherwise isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I didn't think this through.
But the other ones, like where they were like scurrying and grabbing, they're kind of like looking at it like, Bob, what are you doing, dude? We gotta. Do you see the bear over there? We kind of gotta go. But he's just like hanging out watching you.
Can Steve talk to other animals? What can Steve do?
That is a really good question. Can you speak with Steve? Let's double check.
Yeah. Breathe air and water. And jump super high.
So when you are within 100 feet of Steve, you can communicate with him telepathically.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Well, I'm gonna ask Steve if he can understand the rats.
You know, because speak with animals is all one spell, like it's not like speak with cougar, speak with Doberman pincer, speak, you know what I mean? I'm going to go with beasts can understand each other through some kind of, it's not quite language, but it's some kind of method, yes.
I'm gonna ask Steve if he will ask the rats where the danger is and how.
Although I guess I could argue that Steve is not actually an animal because they're technically fey creatures.
Okay.
You know what? This is fun. Yes, he can do this. So you're going to have him ask them what?
Um, where the danger is in the house.
Oh, okay. So the one that's like kind of stuffing his mouth and watching Dross looks over, and he and Steve have a conversation.
Solid.
And then Steve, like in your mind, Opal, you can hear him respond back, and it's kind of like pictures instead of like words. You get the feeling, the like idea essentially of what he's explaining to you. Essentially, the largest danger that they found is that they've run out of most of the food, and so now they're like, where are we gonna go? I don't know. We need to find something.
I think we should offer to take the rats to the town after all of this.
It's gonna be like reversed Pied Piper. Dross is just
Yeah.
walking down the street leading swarms
Yeah,
of rats
without a
into the
doubt.
town. Love it.
So we can find food.
So you tell Steve to tell them that you will lead
They
them.
should come with us. Yeah, they
Sure.
should come with us.
This is gonna be
Get
a
out of that
nightmare.
Right? After you're done here, is what you said. Is that right?
uh, they should just follow us, and when we, um, well, when we find the children, then we'll go back to the town. So they should come with us.
Okay. So there's like some croaking noises and that like that frogs do, and then the rat scritches and squeaks at Steve. Steve responds that they would be glad to follow you out of the house when you're ready, because they need to go pack, get the good china,
Yeah,
get all of
that's
their.
understandable.
So when you're ready, they'll meet you at the front door. Unless you want them to meet you at the back door. Or maybe we'll just go outside right now and sit on the porch.
That is fair. I'm gonna, while she's having the conversation, just keep playing and then just see if I can pet the little rat's face.
Oh yeah, he's just like
This is gonna
pushes his head into your finger.
be my new best friend. New best friend.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, I guess the front door, because we already know where that is.
Okay.
We've already been through it.
So
And
Steve,
tell them
sorry, go ahead.
just tell them to pack and meet us at the front.
Okay. So Steve relays them information, and then after their short conversation, all of the rats like rip apart the remainder of the cheese and carry it back into the hole, and you can hear like it's pretty audible as they're like heading back through the walls. They're not trying to be quiet or anything.
I'm just waiting for this swarm of fucking rats to just
Right?
burst out of this wall. Oh my god.
Except for the one that Dross charmed,
Aw.
who's just kind of hanging out, and he's like, "All right." Through Steve and relayed through Opal, you can discern that he has sent them to get ready, and he's going to follow Dross.
Solid. I'll offer my arm. He's gonna chill on my shoulder, and
He'll
any
climb
food
up there.
I have, he is free to have.
Nice.
I am
It's
the Pied
amazing.
Piper.
You are the Pied Piper. All
So,
right.
so Za, have you been doing anything besides bearing?
I've just been bearing.
Okay.
And observing the frogs, speaking to the rats, and trying to figure out how he himself can do such a feat.
Yeah.
He'll crack the code one day, and yeah, it's really sad to see that the cheese is gone, and kind of glances down at the floor to see if there are any
pool.
spoons that have been scattered down.
There's a large pool of drool below you, but other than that, you don't see anything.
Now,
Well.
is the kitchen close? Could we maybe find if there are decorative spoons for him
I
before
feel
we
like
leave?
you remember.
Is it close?
Okay, so you remember that the food was brought through this main door when you were in here, so it must be on the other side of the house.
Okay. I'm gonna propose that we try and get some spoons
Agreed. We
There-
should finish
there-
investigating
before we
the
leave.
house.
There were some spoons on the table, but you had like you took everything off when you flipped the table, so they're probably stacked over somewhere wherever you would have put them.
Okay. Well, we should grab some spoons. I'm gonna grab some spoons for him because I don't know if he's got bare pockets or not. So I'm gonna stick them in my satchel.
Okay.
We should finish investigating the house. Before we do that, though, Opal, would you kindly ask the sergeant if my new companion has a name, preferred contacts in
do
which I
that.
can refer them?
I will then turn around and ask Steve if he can find out our new friend's name.
His name is Mr. Brisby.
Ah,
Mr. Brisby. Excellent. Mr. Brisby, I'm going to ensure that you live through everything we go through. I swear to you this.
He nods in return.
what a cutie
Wait,
pants.
now I need a rat. Hang on.
Fucking love Mr. Brisby. God.
Rat.
Oh, man.
But not a swarm of rats, just a singular rat. Oh, that's not a good one. That's a torn in half rat. That's
Oh,
terrible. That's another
Mr.
dead
Brisby,
rat.
no!
Man, that's another squished rat. What is going on? Why isn't there just a rat?
Roll 20 is just like, no, absolutely not.
Right? What are you fools doing? I will find you a rat token for Mr. Bisbee
No
between
worries.
now and next time.
No worries.
Okay. All right. So the rats are getting ready to leave. There's a lot of house to investigate, but what would you like to do?
I would like to investigate just a couple more rooms.
Okay.
Let me think. I want to go to the stairway.
Okay.
Or I guess, yeah, that's as far as I can go, the doorway.
Are you stuck on
We
the
are
doorway?
blockhead.
There we go.
There, okay.
Pull yourself out and go through the doorway.
Can't get through the door. Oh, there we go.
Whoop, whoop. It is funny because you can get caught on the corners of the dynamic lighting, and then you're just like, I can't go.
I can't
All
do
right.
that.
Is everyone following Opal up the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the opposite path though, just to kind of round the perimeter.
So you should be on a map that looks very similar, but is actually now the upper floor. And this pathway that leads around to look down. Zaw, in your bear form, walking down that area is a little troublesome. You kind of have to like watch you don't fall off the edge. But essentially, this area is just a bunch of hallway that leads to some rooms, and then there are these windows on the north side where some dim light is coming through. It looks like down in that room is like a greenhouse inside terrarium.
Why can't bears be like cats? Totally unwieldy. Not graceful.
Well, should we look into some doors?
Well, if the rats said that there's no real danger here besides the lack of food, I think that we should open all of the doors.
Open all the doors.
I'm sure this will bite, but I'm prepared.
All right, so I'm just gonna reveal some stuff to you. Dynamic lighting, go! Okay, so Opal, as you head down this way, you find a couple of doors. You open both of them. To the north is what looks like a bedroom. It's kind of falling apart. The bed actually has a mattress on it, and this carpet is moldering and just kind of smells of rot. And
Ugh.
there's kind of a stench coming off of the bed. Uh, the small door inside of there leads to a like a small bathroom.
Ew. Wow. Are there any spoons or spells or
You don't see any spoons, and you're not getting any like feeling of magic. You don't see any scrolls or anything like that. Pretty much everything just seems abandoned. While you're in there, Dross, what are you doing?
Well, now that I have been informed that there's no real danger, I'm gonna probably start opening some other doors just out of curiosity and safety for the confirmed safety.
Are you sticking closer to Opal?
Yeah, I'll still be within uh, speaking range,
Okay.
so won't be going down the other hall or anything like that. But
So she looks in the other room and have you look at the room below that. So this room down here also appears to be some kind of bedroom. The floorboards in here are a little better, and this carpet appears to have been blackened by the fireplace. A good chunk of it is burnt away, and the floorboards beneath it are scarred by fire. The
Jeez.
bed is made, but is also kind of moldering away.
interesting. Blackened by the fire is there any way for me to tell that like this was used recently, or is it this just look like there's dust settled on this soot and ash, or there's
There is dust, yeah, so it does seem older.
okay.
Meanwhile, Za, where are you going?
I'm gonna round the perimeter. I'm just gonna make sure that all of our bases are covered. I guess is the best way to put it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so other than like every so often you hear like scritching in the walls, you don't see or smell anything out of place. Um, you do notice that these windows drop down, like look over this two-story room off to the right. Appears to be a library, probably accessible from the first floor.
In an infernal library.
I'm sorry, what's that?
By library, do you mean an infernal library?
I mean, there are no fires, or are there, any kind of markings that seem like they would summon demons or devils or Yugoloths or anything like that. But without inspecting what looks like the remnants of a few books, mostly it looks like the shelves are empty, but there are some books on that far side. Without inspecting them, it'd be hard to tell what the purpose of the library is.
True. I mean, knowledge is dangerous, and anyone who collects knowledge in this volume probably dabbles in the dark arts.
Truth.
I'm going to go and stick my giant bear head into each of the rooms and look intently at both of them, and make a generic bear sound.
So Opal and Dross, as you're looking through those rooms, you hear like this grunt, and the walls kind of like bow in towards you a little as Za is like squeezing his bear form down, and then he like pants as he reaches the doors and looks at each of you and makes a little wow noise. And then do you back up? Because you can't turn around. Then you just
Getting
like he
around.
starts like backing up. There's definitely some squeezing going on.
going to draw a picture of a cat on some of my the paper remnants that I have and
Mm-hmm.
place one in the middle of the room that I've been standing in, and then kind of sneak into the other room across the hallway and just drop it on the floor and then kind of stand in the middle of the hallway between the two rooms and commune with my patron yet again.
Okay. And Dross?
Continuing to open doors,
Okay.
trying to stay within earshot in case anything goes wrong.
So there is a door that leads to a small bathroom here, and there's another door on the south side of the room that leads back into a hallway that goes around that perimeter. There is a door directly across from the room that you're in, however. Right here. Do you go back out the way you came in and follow the bear, or are you going to head out the south side?
I will likely follow the bear.
Okay. So as Opal blesses the rooms with the word and vision of her patron, everyone then heads back out. Za, what are you trying to get them to do?
Definitely to follow. Particularly the mage type one who knows these kind of things.
Yeah.
And I want to peer out those windows up to the north. You said there was a greenhouse out there?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these like couple of small windows show there's light coming in from the other side of the room. That essentially is what's lighting up down there. But on the first floor, you can see the remnants of plants and essentially like a small pond that was built in, but now like even just glancing down at it, you can tell that the water is all like scummy. Obviously hasn't been taken care of.
Okay. Yeah, I'll lead them to the library.
Okay, so that would be
Just kinda-
back down the stairs. Does everyone want to follow the bear?
Yeah.
Dross?
I'm just gonna keep the door open too, because we've been told all is clear.
Yeah. Josh, you're good with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to move you back down. Bloop. And that door is right over here. And you're just going to open it up, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bear my way through.
Ha 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 ha. You do. It opens.
But
Make me actually you don't even have to worry about it. As he kind of punts the door with his head, one of them breaks off the hinges and like collapses on the ground, and the other one swings open but is like and inside you see some bookshelves that are lining the standing in the center. They don't have books on them. You do see a few books very faintly. There's not really much light coming in here. There's just a little filtering down from upstairs. So if you need to see in here and don't have dark vision, which is pretty much just the bear, you will need a light source.
Is there a fireplace in here at all?
There is not a fireplace in this one.
I'm gonna run over to the fireplace and grab another one of my chair legs
Yeah,
and try and fashion a torch.
sure. And you would have torches on you too. So if you just wanted to go over to the fireplace and like stick your torch in and use that,
Right.
that's totally fine.
I'm gonna get myself a torch and bring it on in to the library.
Okay.
Try and illuminate it for everybody.
So, Zal, essentially Opal will be the area that you need to follow as far as light goes. But otherwise, she has the lighting you need. Dross, what are you doing?
Staying with them.
Okay.
I am curious about some of the books. Just peeking through the titles and whatnot, seeing if I recognize any of them.
So you notice most of the books that are left are on either these shelves right up here on the top right, rather on the right wall, but on the northern side, or on the southern side of that right wall. There are some remnants of books on the other side, but they like as you kind of look at them, they almost seem to like crumble apart from just your presence. The center area just has dust, and there's this desk down here with a leather chair. The leather is all like peeling and falling apart. There is a candlestick on the table with just like wax melted off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make me a investigation check, Dross. So as you're looking through, a lot of them just seem pretty banal, like history of the Moon Sea and Thentia in the year 1492. Uh, Farmer's Almanac type stuff. Pretty droll stuff.
Gotcha.
Za, what are you doing?
Well, I'm sticking close to Opal, since she's my source of light, and I'm once again cursing the limitations of these beast forms. I've got to find some way to make them better. And why is this so much bigger than a cat? Why can't they be cats of the woods? The surface world is dumb.
The surface world is dumb.
Yeah. I'm going to go sit in that leather chair.
Okay. So you go over and you plop your furry butt down in it, and you can hear like the breaking of the wooden frame inside. It doesn't collapse under you, but it definitely is not going to maintain its shape once you stand up.
Yeah, he's got a very satisfied look in his face.
And just in case you can't see them, because I don't know what's cut off exactly, there's double doors here in the middle of the right wall, and there's a single door in the south wall.
I want to go through the double doors.
Okay. There you go.
Sweet.
Stick by Opal.
Okay, so as Opal walks out, this hallway is very illuminated by the dim light coming through all of the windows, because there's several windows along the outer wall. You walk out directly facing one, and it just kind of seems to like be carpeted with dust. But you notice that this wall and this wall, so essentially the back side of the library, is made of this fantastic what is the word? I'm sorry, I just thought. So like carvings on the wall.
Ooh.
Before
Like reliefs?
Yeah, kind of like reliefs. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I want to see how far these hallways go.
Okay. Real quick, so the reliefs are you see unicorns prance with stuffed bears riding upon their backs. You see dragons frolicking with toy soldiers and pixies dancing with dolls dressed in lace cuffed dresses. You see a satyr holding a pan flute to its lips while musical notes soar through the wondrous crowd.
That is an awesome looking relief.
And you notice that this hallway leads back to the one that you're standing at, leads back to the entrance, while the north one ends in that kind of nook. There's a window up there.
Well, I guess maybe we should take it to the front, because that's the only way out of this. Can we see anything from the windows? Like, Is there
Uh,
enough light to be able to discern like the trees? I'm assuming it looks very spooky, but like is there any kind of like movement or light or anything from other travelers?
yeah, so you look out and you can see the trees around the property. There is that like kind of haziness to the air, and probably a good hour, maybe hour and a half has passed as you've like slowly kind of been going through this area. So that light that's coming through hasn't changed much. Still just kind of filtered dim light. But you don't see any movement. You don't see anybody hanging out outside. Well,
Okay.
she's heading that way. What is Dross doing?
Keep forgetting to unmute my mic. I'm sorry. Sticking with her. Yeah, sticking between the bear and Opal.
Dross, make me a. Do you have Arcana?
I do not.
Do you have.
Or rather, I'm not proficient. I do have a +4.
What is your, like. Make me an intelligence check. Okay.
Nice.
You notice, like, the notes that are represented in the artwork are a song. Like, they're not just like random notes, but they seem not quite correct. Something about them isn't right. Like, if you were to play it, you're like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Ooh. You should
Is
play
it-
it.
Yeah. Is it Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it, I guess. I'm gonna play along with the notes
Okay.
the way I would. If that makes...
Make a. So, like, if you were to rearrange them, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit weird, so I'll
Yeah.
try and
So do a
make sense
performance
of it, I
check.
guess. Oh,
Nothing happens.
I'm gonna walk over to illuminate everything a little bit better for
Okay.
him with the torch. And I also actually have a little flute. I'm just a novice. I'm not an experienced performer like him. And I'm gonna attempt to play them as they were written.
Okay. So Opal plays them, and Josh, you could definitely hear it. You're just like, yeah, that's not right. But each of you make a perception check.
Deceiving.
All right, so Zah, you notice as Opal brings that torch by, there's like these weird shadows that the notes create that the rest of the relief doesn't. Almost like they are separate pieces. Like light kind of scoots behind them as well.
Are they manipulatable? Can they be like recessed
Maybe.
or depressed?
It's really hard for you to figure that out in your bear form, but you could try and point this out to someone with fingers and opposable thumbs.
I'll get up on my hind legs and stretch at my full height and like wave a paw, kind of claw the air a little bit in the
Okay.
direction of the notes.
So Dross and Opal, the bear stands up and is like,
Oh, damn it, why can't I talk?
Try and be his fingers.
Okay, yeah, so you go over and you're looking at what he's pointing at, and yeah, there's definitely like something weird about the notes. Like they're almost like attached to the art rather than being part of it.
Can I pull one off?
Make me a strength check.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so you reach up for like the one that you can kind of reach because they're like quite a bit above your head for the most part, but there's one that you can reach and you grab it and you pull it and you can feel like some give, but there's resistance. But as you're pulling it, everyone kind of hears this almost like a pipe organ, like if you didn't actually press the key, just kind of like there's like kind of a note that starts as you're doing it.
So I'm gonna try and push it.
Okay, so you push it back and it doesn't do anything.
Okay. I think I need more strength to pull them out. Is Dross strong enough?
I am. Ooh,
Yeah, I am. Yes.
If you would like me to try, I absolutely will, and I'll just roll up my sleeves and I'll give it a shot, I guess.
Sure. Make me a strength check.
This is gonna be bad. Hey,
You get a little bit more play, and like there's definitely a note that plays as you're pulling it out. It doesn't seem to like pull all the way out that it could. Like you definitely feel like it could go a little further, almost like it's locked in place by something.
interesting. Locked in place by something. Is it? Would it be possible to see it through investigation?
Sure, go ahead and do an investigation check.
E.
Nice. Okay, so as you're looking at it and you're kind of fiddling with it and you're thinking about this wall and it being like on the opposite side of the library, so you walk back into the library to see if there's like something over there, and you realize that this is really the only wall that has books on it. And so you start looking kind of where on the opposite side that note is, and sure enough there are some like books there, and there's one that seems more pristine than the others. It still has like time wear and such on it, but like it seems potentially enchanted, almost like it has magic protecting it from time, from the ravages of time. And it says 3 on the spine.
Well, 3.
Like maybe there's a 1, 2, 3.
Perhaps. Can we look around for 1 and 2?
Sure. You're just like, no, it couldn't be that. Set everything on fire. Anyway, so as you begin looking around, you find some that essentially match up on the other side. And as you look at it and you rearrange the notes in your head, sure enough, yeah, that makes much more sense as far as being a melodic song.
Gotcha.
Then you should play it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I will do so.
So you want to play it on your own?
I want to join in if that's possible.
Yeah, if Opal would like to accompany, of course. I'm always happy to have an accompaniment.
Okay. Do you go back into the hallway to do so, or are you still in the library when you play it?
I feel like the hallway is probably the place to be. The acoustics are better there.
So yeah, you play it, and you notice as you play them, like when you play one, the note pushes out and plays with you. And so as you play it, each note pushes out of the wall and plays the song with you. And the doors to the library slam shut and begin to glow.
Shit.
I mean, a toy maker lived here, so.
Mr. Brisby, do you have any insight into this? Has this happened before?
Mr. Brisby's staring at the wall like, what just happened?
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Za, what are you doing?
I'm going on the alert. There's a magic, like, glowing door, you know?
Yeah.
Like, clearly a gateway to which the demons are going to rush out again.
Right?
Yeah.
This was the seal behind which they were kept.
Yeah, we've got to hold our ground. We've got to take out these demons.
Go to the door and try just to see if it's locked or see if it's like a matter of actually like turning the knob to open it.
So it does not appear to be locked.
I'm gonna like look at everybody else and be like, hey, what do you think? Let's go through the door.
Roar.
Away we go. To adventure.
To adventure. All right, Opal, you gonna open the door?
Yep.
All right, so you open the door, and beyond is just light. It just looks like kind of a brilliant, slightly scintillating gray and white light, almost like there's mist roiling in the doorway, and it just expands and fills your vision, and then everything goes black. And as you're laying there, through your eyelids, you can kind of see like a crack of light underneath. It's very warm light, like almost candle light or some kind of, lamp. And you can see it under your eyelids, as opposed to like that kind of color that you see when you close your eyes and like are looking at a light. You just kind of see the... Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that does that? What do you do?
I'm going to bring the flute up to my mouth and play those notes again.
Okay. So as you begin to move, are you going to open your eyes?
I open my eyes.
All right. So you like open your eyes and you see like the blackness of your eyelids instead of that kind of color fade away. And you're looking around and you're in a small chamber. There are toys everywhere. There's shelves that just cover every wall. There's dolls. There's like wooden soldiers. There are
amazing.
The stuffed monkeys that play the cymbals. Can't think of what they're called. I need each of you to roll a d6 for me.
Oh no.
I don't know if I know how to do this. Hold on.
Oh, you got it in.
Did it go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Let's do a roll off. John and Adela both roll a d6 for me again. Did you get the same?
That's awesome.
Do it one more time.
One more time. Okay. Did it go?
I heard it. I just got to go back over and look. Okay. So, Opal, you open your eyes and you look around, and that's what you see and you go to raise your hand with the flute, but your hand is covered in like some kind of fuzzy brown cloth, like it's almost like fluffy fuzzy, and there's no flute there, and like it's just like a it's almost like your hand has been stuffed inside of this, and it's not a glove, it's just wrapped in cloth. And you go and you look at the other one, and the other one is the same way. Dross, you look around. You see the same thing, but you feel very stiff. Like your movement is very awkward. And as you raise your hand up, like you can only bend your elbow like this. It's very weird. You have kind of more movement this way, but you raise your hand and you move your hand, and it's like this weird wooden mitt that has like some fingers, but the fingers end in little like black claws, and you have like kind of reddish fur painted onto you.
Mr. Brisby?
Turn it.
And Zaw.
No.
Zaw, you sit up and you look around, and you have a little bit more movement, but you feel more confined than you did as a bear. Like you don't feel as massive, and you look at your hands, and they're this fine porcelain look, almost like fine china or some kind of porcelain. And you notice that you're wearing a dress. So as everyone looks around and sees each other moving, Dross, you look like you don't see this, but everyone else can see what looks like a fox humanoid that is painted on, instead of like dressed in cloth, is painted on. It looks like a pirate. Like he has a patch over one eye and this painted on like skull cap. There is like a small toy rapier in like a sheath at his leather belt, but you don't see Mr. Brisby or Steve anywhere. Opal, you look around, or everyone sees you, and they see this like stuffed teddy bear with this kind of like dark brown fake fur, and button eyes. And finally, Zaw, everyone like sees you, and you look essentially kind of like so you look like a doll, and you have this blonde curly hair, but he's done up in this like dress that has like a red plus sign on its like a frock, and then on a little hat that's on top has the same red plus sign. It looks like kind of like a nurse. And as you're all staring at each other, we will end there.
Oh my god! Mr. Brisby, no!
Mr. Brisby! I like how of that, Mr. Brisby was the reason that you're screaming.
Mr. Brisby and Sergeant Stephen are going to save us. We are damsels in distress at this point.
Absolutely.
I'm a nurse. I'm a hero.
Oh my god.
You are a hero. Just wear your mask, get vaccinated,
Yeah.
be a hero. Any questions, thoughts, complaints before we end?
Where the fuck is Mr. Brisby?
And Steven! Sergeant Steven!
Oh no.
All right. Well, we will pick up again next week, Wednesday. Yep, Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Join us then. Bye.